Have you ever felt a weight on your heart, a tightness in your chest, as if unseen chains were wrapped around your soul? You are moving through life, yet something inside keeps pulling you back. You intend to pray, and suddenly excuses appear. You reach for the Quran, and a strange restlessness settles in. Have you ever asked yourself, what are these chains? What is this burden? Who placed these barriers inside me? And more importantly, is there a single remembrance, one powerful name that breaks these chains in moments? A remembrance that makes Satan tremble. A name that he fears more than anything else. A remembrance that, when it rises from the heart, shakes mountains, and when spoken by the tongue, opens the prison of the soul. Today, we uncover this secret, not through a story meant to entertain, but through a map toward inner freedom. Peace be upon you and welcome. This is a space for words that come from the depths of the heart, a place where Quran, faith, inner knowledge, and remembrance are spoken in a way that transforms the listener. If you seek a new inner life, if you want to break the chains around your heart, if you want to feel the effect of a remembrance from which Satan retreats, stay with me, because the real journey begins now. The human heart carries chains that cannot be seen, but are deeply felt. Sometimes they appear as laziness, sometimes as neglect, sometimes as the weight of sin, sometimes as unexplained anxiety. According to the people of inner knowledge, these chains are not physical. They are subtle bindings placed by Satan. Satan understands something important. If the human being becomes inwardly free, if remembrance rises from the heart, if the name of God settles on the tongue, his influence collapses. So he works quietly. He places heaviness on the heart. He plants doubt. He tangles thoughts. He keeps the servant away from the point where the heart comes alive. But there is one remembrance, one name, that shatters these bindings instantly. That remembrance is Allahu. This is not just a word. It is a shift in the heart's rhythm. It is a call that opens sealed inner doors. Listen carefully, because what follows is not theory. It is an inner unveiling. The heart does not close suddenly. It tightens slowly. Satan does not attack the body. He attacks through thoughts, a small whisper, a brief desire, a moment of neglect. That is how the first thread is wrapped around the heart. Then another, until a person begins to say, I no longer feel sweetness in remembrance. I try to worship, but my heart resists. I want to change, but something holds me back. These are not personal failures. These are bindings. And what breaks them is not just remembrance, but the right remembrance spoken from the depth of the heart. Allah who carries two realities. Allah, the one who created everything. Who, he alone, nothing else. When this remembrance rises from the heart, something inside is shaken. It is as if the soul is jolted awake. This inner jolt is what causes Satan's delicate chains to crack. Because this remembrance is a declaration. The owner of my heart is one, not fear, not sorrow, not desire, not Satan, only Allah. And this declaration weakens Satan's grip. This is why Satan fears nothing more than a servant who turns fully back to God. Yes, Satan fears prayer. He fears fasting. He fears charity. But the remembrance he fears most is the one that awakens pure oneness inside the heart. Because Allahu does not remain on the tongue. It descends, and when it reaches the depths, it revives the truth of divine unity within the soul. And that is where Satan loses all authority. This remembrance reconnects the servant to God, without distance. The greatest success of Satan is not that a person sins, but that a person feels far from God. Allah, who is the remembrance that dissolves this distance in moments. When closeness returns, Satan becomes powerless. You may have noticed this yourself. When someone says Allahu from the heart, Satan has no weapon left. Sometimes there is a sudden calm. Sometimes the eyes become moist. Sometimes the chest trembles softly. This is not coincidence. The Quran describes this state clearly. Hearts come alive through the remembrance of God. The heart was created from divine breath. When it hears the name that points back to its origin, it awakens. At that moment, the knots formed by sin loosen. The soul begins to descend inwardly. And this does not happen slowly. It happens immediately. That is why this remembrance shakes the heart. There is a subtle truth few understand. Inside the heart, there is a lock. The Quran refers to it as the sealing of the heart. This lock does not open through arguments, not through books alone, not through debate. It opens only through remembrance. When Allahu reaches the heart, these inner locks begin to break. For the first time, a person feels alive, as if space has opened inside, as if a weight has been lifted, as if the soul has taken its first free breath. This is what the people of inner realization called the beginning of inner freedom. And this is the moment Satan fears most. Because once the heart is free, the person belongs to God. Another hidden truth. Satan is not satisfied merely by pushing a person into sin. His real victory is when the servant forgets God. But Allahu awakens remembrance. It reminds the heart of its true Lord. It returns the soul to its true center. At that moment, Satan has only one option left: to withdraw. This is why this remembrance is like a blade against him. Now, an important question. How do you recognize that your inner chains are breaking? There are 3 signs. First, you feel happiness without a clear reason. Second, you feel a natural pull toward prayer and remembrance, without forcing yourself. Third, sins no longer taste the same. Their sweetness fades. This joy, this pull, this inner shift are signs of inner freedom. And it all begins with a single remembrance. Allahu. This remembrance is not a movement of the tongue. It is a return of the whole being. It is the moment when a person exits the noise of the world and turns inward toward the Lord. This remembrance carries the essence of divine oneness. When the heart truly hears it, it cannot remain the same. Daily life scatters the human being. Remembrance gathers him back to his origin. If you want to experience the effect of this remembrance, approach it correctly. First step, pause your breath. Stop for a moment. Take a deep breath, as if you are creating space inside your chest. Second step, let Allah descend inwardly. Close your eyes. Gently say, Allah, as if an inner door is opening. Third step, release Hu from the chest. With the next breath, softly say, Hu, as if darkness is leaving the heart. Fourth step, set intention. Hold one sentence inside. I am returning to God. This intention alone begins transformation. Remembrance does not remain at one level. It has stages. Each stage changes the servant. The first stage, remembrance of the tongue. You say Allahu aloud. This is a blessed beginning. The second stage, remembrance of the heart. The tongue becomes silent, but inside the heart repeats, Allah, Allah. This is where Satan's grip begins to weaken. The third stage, remembrance of the soul. Here, the servant is no longer doing remembrance. Remembrance begins doing the servant. Walking, sitting, resting. The echo of Allahu continues inwardly. This station is rare. The fourth stage, remembrance of love. Here, the one remembering disappears. Only the remembered remains. This is the final station of this remembrance. It is not spoken about openly, but you needed to hear it. The signs begin to appear quietly. First sign, the heart softens. Words no longer feel sharp. Judgment weakens. Harshness dissolves. Second sign, moisture gathers in the eyes. Not from weakness, but from melting. This is the heart thawing. Third sign, sin begins to feel heavy. What once felt sweet now feels disturbing. The taste changes. Fourth sign, there is a pull toward worship. Not forced, not explained, as if something is calling. In truth, it is the echo of Allahu. Fifth sign, the heart feels lighter, as if a burden has been removed, without knowing how. If these signs are appearing, then rejoice quietly. Your chains are breaking. An elder once said, "For years I prayed. For years I recited the Quran, but my heart remained closed. Then one night, in complete silence, I softly said, Allahu, and it felt as if my chest split open, as if light poured out from within. In that moment, I understood. God was giving life to my heart. This remembrance gives birth to the heart. It awakens the soul, and it draws the servant closer to God. If you are watching this now, it may not be accidental. Perhaps God Himself brought you here. Perhaps He wants you to return. Perhaps this name, this single remembrance, is meant to change your life. And if today, even once, you said Allahu from the heart, know this: the transformation has already begun. The journey back to your Lord has already started. The rest of the path He will make easy. Return is not your burden. Return is His invitation. And in the language of the heart, only 2 words are needed. Allahu. This is not a slogan. It is a response. A response to the one who has been calling you all along.